Hello, this is Ludolphin here for Sentinels of the Multiverse Weekly One-Shot number 65. Training Day. Randomized start. The team went through the training exercise quickly and efficiently, as they had 1,000 times before. Bunker keyed the microphone and said in his usual clipped tone, "Good. Next up, Pattern Gamma." As a horde of shuffling zombies began to materialize, Felicia yawned and adjusted her cape. "How many times do we have to do this?" The scholar's runic markings glowed in preparation for another battle. As many times as... He was interrupted by a shot from Captain Cosmic high above. "These fiends are no holograms! Freedom Wardens! Our time is now!" This one-shot requires Mini-Pack 2, Infernal Relics, Wrath of the Cosmos, and Vengeance. And this is Challenge Gloomweaver. This is our first challenge one-shot because Challenge Mode was recently released. I think last weekend, actually. So this one-shot came in just in time for that. Did I say Challenge Akashputa? I don't remember what I said. I might have said Challenge Akashputa. It's been a long week. Challenge Gloomweaver. Against the team of Prime Wardens Captain Cosmic, the Naturalist, Bunker, Young Legacy, and... it's the Scholar, but it's the variant. I don't remember what the variant is called. It's not the Eternal Scholar. Scholar of the Infinite, that's who it is. And it's Freedom Tower. So, randomized start. So, there's no spoilers here. There's no fixed decks, no fixed start seed. This game is unique. So what I have to deal with is not what you might have to deal with or have had dealt with, I guess is the proper English. I'm actually tackling this Saturday evening, so it's most likely that people have already taken this one on. So let's see what happens. New game. Dun dun dun. All this delicious despair. I can almost taste it. Let me in, mortals. From the cosmos to realms beyond, your villainy shall go no further. Alright, so randomized start. So these starting hands are not what you are guaranteed to have. Prime Wardens Captain Cosmic starts with an Autonomous Blade, 2 Construct Cataclysms, and a Vitality Conduit. The Naturalist starts with Crafty Assault, Natural Born Vigor, Natural Forms Power, and Primal Charge. Bunker starts with 2 Auxiliary Power Sources, a Flat Cannon, and Turret Mode. It's always nice when Bunker in a weekly one-shot starts with a gun. Of course it's randomized, but we got lucky here. Young Legacy starts with Lead from the Front, Motivational Charge, the Legacy Ring, and Thok. Its Scholar of the Infinite starts with Flesh to Iron, Grace Under Fire, Know When to Turn Loose, and Proverbs and Axioms. Pretty good starting hands, I have to say. Except maybe Captain Cosmic might be a tad boring, but... Alright, so let's read Gloomweaver. Villain, Nightmare Walker. Setup. At the start of the game, Gloomweaver enters play, Nightmare Walker side up. 5 zombie cards are put into play. The villain deck is shuffled. Gameplay. At the start of the villain turn, if 3 villain relics are in play, Gloomweaver flips. At the start of the villain turn, if 3 villain relics are in the villain trash, the heroes win. Whenever a cultist is destroyed, a zombie card is put into play from the villain trash. And now this is some new text. Challenge Chaos Dimension. Villain relics are indestructible. So... yes! So Gloomweaver doesn't really have much happening automatically. Doesn't have any automatic actions, or start of turn, end of turn actions. The start of turn is just to check if 3 relics are, or 3 villain relics, that is key, villain relics. If 3 villain relics are in play, Gloomweaver flips. If 3 villain relics are in the villain trash, the heroes win. You might as well strike a line through that condition, because that can't happen. Or can it? I don't know that this team actually can, but... villain relics are indestructible, so once a villain relic enters play, it is in play permanently. So I actually lied when I said you have to scratch a line through the second sentence, because if there is a card that says discard the top card of the villain deck, if that card happens to be a villain relic, it does enter the trash. Just because a card is indestructible does not mean it cannot be discarded from the villain deck. I don't think this team has villain discard mechanics. Maybe Naturalist might, but you would think I would know better by this point. Naturalist has been out for a while, but if we can discard the top card of Gloomweaver's deck and it happens to be a relic, and if we can do that 3 times and get lucky 3 times, that would be great. Anyway, if Gloomweaver happens to flip, which is actually slightly more likely with the challenge rules, if 3 villain relics are in play at the start of the villain turn, Gloomweaver flips and becomes Villain, Demon God Incarnate. Gameplay. When flipped to the side, Gloomweaver regains 50 HP. Whenever a cultist is destroyed, a zombie card from the villain trash is put into play. At the end of the villain turn, Gloomweaver deals X toxic damage to the 4 hero targets with the highest HP, where X equals the number of voodoo pins in play plus 2. And the challenge text is the same on this side. In fact, challenge texts in general are the same in both sides. They're permanent rules regardless of which side the villain is on. So Gloomweaver flips to the side with 3 villain relics in play, and those relics remain indestructible, so they will have permanent effects for the duration of the game. And this side, he regains 50 HP once he flips to the side, so the game is prolonged. Still puts a zombie from the trash into play once a cultist is destroyed, but he also deals damage. He deals damage based on the number of voodoo pins in play plus 2. He deals it to basically every hero target. Well, I guess 4 hero targets with the highest HP. If these decks did not have hero targets in them, it would basically be each hero except for the one with the lowest HP. Of course, that's different when there are Sentinels in play, and it's different in this game because we have Captain Cosmic, who has a bunch of hero targets in his deck. But he deals damage automatically. Alright, so I think we've read enough. We might as well just start the game. This is a randomized start, but we do start with 5 zombies. Zombie Servant, Zombie. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the non-villain target with the highest HP 3 melee damage. It's actually a significant amount of damage, but it scales with the number of heroes, so it's not too much, I guess. And the first card play, the Cursed Acolyte, Cultist. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals each hero target 3 fire damage and 3 infernal damage. Oof. Haha! So lots of damage, basically. So all of these will be automatic. Once we have a choice, here we have a choice. There are 2 zombies left to act, so 2 of these 3 are going to take the damage. Well, let's throw 1 on the Scholar because he can regain HP more easily, and the other I'll throw on Bunker because Captain Cosmic might end up hitting himself at some point in this game, and this order doesn't matter. The Cursed Acolyte, I believe, is drawn based off of a loyal Sentinels fan named Ronway, or Cursed Ronway. I have not really personally engaged with Ronway that much. I just know that he's sort of classical. And the Cursed Acolyte deals a bunch of damage because Ronway is apparently known for dealing damage, and sometimes to hero targets. Alrighty, so first turn, so we have the Autonomous Blade. If I play this next to a hero target, the first time that target deals damage each turn, this card deals 1 target 2 energy damage. 2 damage is enough to take out a zombie, but we want to take out that Cursed Acolyte probably before we take out a zombie, since currently the villain trash is empty, but when Gloomweaver tries to take a zombie from play, or put a zombie from the trash into play, it would not be able to. So our primary focus is the Cursed Acolyte, and ideally we take out the Zombie Servants if we can. Zombies are not indestructible, but they are dealing 3 melee damage each round, which is damage we would like to not have to deal with. Construct Cataclysm does damage based on the number of Construct cards destroyed, which is not useful when there are not any, and the Vitality Conduit, instead of the Autonomous Blade, involves HP recovery. I feel like Autonomous Blade is the goal. So who's the most likely to deal damage? I guess Legacy, because her base power deals damage, but she also has Motivational Charge, which does 1 fewer point of damage, but allows for all hero targets to regain 1 HP. Very necessary with the damage that we've taken. So I guess the Autonomous Blade on Legacy is what we're going to try for. And if you've not played Prime Warden's Captain Cosmic before, his base power, unlike the standard Captain Cosmic, is Absorption. Power. Until the start of your next turn, whenever a construct is destroyed, you may shuffle it into your deck and either draw or play a card. This has appeared in a previous one-shot, but the ruling was changed in between, I believe. I don't know that I've utilized Prime Warden's Captain Cosmic in a one-shot since, but this doesn't stack. First off, I mean, you could activate it multiple times, but the way it doesn't stack is that the clause, you may shuffle it into your deck and either draw or play a card, are dependent on each other. You can only draw or play a card if you've shuffled a construct into your deck. If you let it get destroyed and placed in your trash, you can't draw or play a card, so you have to be smart with how you do it. And once it's shuffled into your deck, if you've activated Absorption several times, the card is lost in your deck and cannot be retrieved. And we realized in last week's one-shot that once something is placed in your deck, it can't be retrieved, like we were trying to figure out how to resolve two different effects, and we chose poorly. So that rule generally holds. But we might as well activate this. We already played a card, we might as well use our power. In case that construct gets destroyed, we can gain from it. And we draw a Destructive Response. So I guess like the issue with the original ruling was that it could stack and become really potent. You could, like if you activate this twice, you could, every time a construct is destroyed, you can then draw a card and play a card because you activated it twice. You could draw a card and play a card. And if you do this correctly, you could end up basically playing a construct, destroying it by like, because you played Construct Cataclysm or something. So then you draw a card and then you could play a card, so you didn't gain or lose any cards, but you're still playing constructs that get destroyed by Construct Cataclysm. Originally, if you actually look at the original printed card, there was the word instead. Whenever a construct would be destroyed, you may instead shuffle it into your deck. So it wouldn't trigger effects like Destructive Response, because if you shuffled your construct into your deck, it didn't get destroyed, so Captain Cosmic may not deal up to 3 targets 1 energy damage each. And it wouldn't work well with Construct Cataclysm either, because the constructs wouldn't have been destroyed. You got extra card plays, but you couldn't deal 1 target X irreducible energy damage, so there's that. Okay, so here we are with Naturalist. We have Crafty Assault, which can deal up to 3 targets, 2 melee damage each. This would take out several zombies. We might want to think about that. I mean, if we even take out 3 zombies and 1 comes back, you know, that's better than otherwise. It does have the Gazelle text of destroying up to 2 ongoing cards, and in this team, I think Naturalist is actually the only one with ongoing destruction. So we have to be careful that we don't play Crafty Assault, lose it, and then need to destroy an ongoing card later. There's only 1 ongoing card in Gloomweaver's deck, but it is a particularly scary one. And it's actually pretty lucky that we didn't start with Strength of the Grave, but we do want to be able to destroy it if we need to. Natural Born Vigor allows for a Naturalist to use an additional power on his turn, which is nice when coupled with Naturalist's base power, because it puts a form into play and he can even activate this turn. Natural Form's Vigor is a power, but it requires text to be activated in order to be able to be used. And Primal Charge is a one-shot that needs active text. So if we're going to hold on to Crafty Assault in fear of Strength of the Grave, then we probably should put out Natural Born Vigor. It's the only other thing that we could utilize. So if our goal is to take out the Cursed Acolyte, we're going to want the Crocodile. So the 3 forms we have are the Deadly Crocodile, which involves Naturalist dealing 1 target 2 melee damage as a power, but increases damage dealt by the Naturalist by 1. We have the Rhinoceros, which involves drawing cards, so you can get Naturalist's deck more set up, but you also reduce damage dealt to the Naturalist by 1. And then you have the Gazelle, whose power is to regain HP, which allows you to revive yourself, with no other extra text here. And each one involves activating, or may activating, I don't think that's good English, but certain icon effects. So these cards that we just looked at have icons on them that could be activated once a form is put into play. I think the Crocodile is what we want, So we shall search our deck for the Deadly Crocodile, and thanks to the natural born vigor, we can do the damage. So we're going to throw it on the Cursed Acolyte in hopes of being able to take him out. And we draw another Crafty Assault. Sorry, Naturalist, have to be careful with pronouns there, draws another Crafty Assault, so we don't need more than one for ongoing destruction, so we can utilize it the next turn to spread damage around. Alright, so Bunker. Not really much to explain here, I don't think. I'm just going to play the Flat Cannon so I can do the damage that will kill the Cursed Acolytes. So since there was no zombies in the trash, none get put into play. And by the way, there are only 5 zombies in Gloomweaver's deck. We saw all of them because we started with 5 heroes, but if we started with 3 or 4, there would be 2 or 1, respectively, still in Gloomweaver's deck. And Bunker draws Recharge Mode. Alright. So if we want to take out the zombies, we only need to deal 2 points of damage to them. Young Legacy's base power is 3 damage, but Motivational Charge does 2, which will still kill a zombie, but we get the bonus of each hero target regaining HP, which I think is better. Alternatively, I could have played Thok, taken out 1 zombie, and then used Atomic Glare to deal damage, take out a second zombie. But I want to get out Motivational Charge now so that I can put the Legacy ring out on the next turn, and then Legacy can use 2 powers. So let's take out some of these zombies. Now, Autonomous Blade goes off because Legacy has dealt damage this turn. And Constructs really love Motivational Charge. Legacy draws Next Evolution, so we have 2 cards in an awesome combo that might come in very handy in this game. Lead from the Front and Next Evolution allows for Legacy to redirect any damage dealt by villain targets of a certain type to Legacy, who is immune to that type of damage, and therefore the heroes are spared. This will come in very handy once certain relics come out. Like Grimoire of Curses does infernal damage. Pouch of Bones does not deal damage, and Drum of Despair does infernal damage. So if these relics come out, remember they're indestructible, so their effects will be permanent, but we can be spared the infernal damage by making Legacy immune to infernal damage and redirecting all of the infernals to Legacy. We could also have put out, if we had enough turns for it, Next Evolution, Lead from the Front, and then made Legacy immune to melee damage, and then we would no longer be worried about these zombie servants. They could stay out all game if they wanted to. Legacy would not take the melee damage. But that's not what's happening right now. Not what's happening right now. Alrighty. So, Scholar. His base power, unlike the standard Scholar, which is 3 gain 1 HP, he deals himself and 1 target damage equal to the number of cards he has discarded since the end of his last turn, plus 1. So this counts all the things that say, like, discard your hand, or each hero discards 1 card, or 1 hero may discard 2 cards to do stuff. So this adds up over the course of the round and can become a pretty potent damage-dealing power with the cost of Scholar dealing himself damage. So a good counter to that is Flesh to Iron, which reduces damage dealt to the Scholar by 2, at the expense of him having to discard 1 card at the start of his turn in order to keep this card in play. But if I put out Flesh to Iron and I use Channel, Scholar only deals 1 infernal damage since he's only discarded 0 cards, so he would do 1 damage. So he would not be able to take out another zombie servant, and since Scholar's not the highest HP hero, he would not be able to draw the zombie's damage to him, because otherwise, 3 damage reduced by 2 would become 1, but the zombies would go after Captain Cosmic and then Legacy and then Naturalist, so we probably don't want to try that. I could do Grace Under Fire. This would do 4 Radiant, which is overkill, but would take out 1 zombie. Know When to Turn Loose would discard my hand and then deal 3 lightning damage, which would take out 1 zombie, but I discarded my hand, so I discarded 3 cards other than this one, so Channel would turn into 4 infernal damage, which would take out a second zombie. And then Proverbs and Axioms, which is always a fun card. Not only will each player draw a card, but each hero can either just regain HP or use a power as long as they deal themselves damage. And if I do that, we would certainly be able to take out all the zombies. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one. So each player draws a card. So Captain Cosmic draws a Sustained Influence. Naturalist draws the Nimble Gazelle. Bunker draws a Grenade Launcher. Legacy draws Superhuman Durability. Scholar draws another Know When to Turn Loose. So Legacy almost certainly wants to use her power. I'm going to start with her. She'll deal herself damage, which will make the Autonomous Blade go off, so we can take out one zombie like that. Legacy can use Motivational Charge to take out another zombie servant, as well as let us regain some HP. And now what do we need to do? Well, not everyone needs to use a power. Captain Cosmic's base power, we said, cannot stack, so we might as well not use a power. Scholar only has 1 power in a turn, and we're not at his power phase yet, so he'll regain the HP. We have 1 zombie left that needs to be dispatched with, and either Naturalist or Bunker could deal with it, but Bunker doesn't have a damage boost, so he'll deal himself less damage. And now we've dispatched with all the zombies. Actually, it's kind of silly to deal myself 3 damage to destroy a zombie when the zombies are going to do 3 damage anyway. But, oh well, at least they're all gone. And Naturalist's Deadly Crocodile would do 3 melee damage, but at the expense of 4 psychic to Naturalist, so I'm just going to have the Naturalist regain hit points. And 1 damage for 1 damage is at least a little more fair. So we've at least done our first blood to Gloomweaver. Scholar draws Know When to Hold Fast, which is different from Know When to Turn Loose. Alright. Freedom Tower. Training Simulator. Room. At the start of the environment turn, move a villain target from the villain trash into play. Fun fact, these heroes do not have environment destruction, so Training Simulator is going to put things into play. Thankfully, there are lots of zombies. They're the least damaging. Vast Following. 1 shot. Shuffle the villain trash and reveal the top 5 cards. Put any revealed cultists and relics into play. Put the other revealed cards back in the trash. Play the top card of the villain deck. Oof. So this, well, we're not going to get relics in the trash. This is going to put cultists into play, and of the 6 cards in the trash, 1 card is the cultist, and the 1 cultist is the Cursed Acolyte. So did we get the Cursed Acolyte? We did. Cursed Acolyte is back in play. And the top card of the villain deck, Profane Zealot, Cultist. Reduce damage dealt to villain targets by 1. Whenever a target other than this card is destroyed, this card regains 5 HP. Okay, so that's fun. Alright, so Cursed Acolyte is back, and the Autonomous Blade will die to this. Which means that Absorption is going to trigger, so we could shuffle it into Captain Cosmic's deck and either draw or play a card. So is there anything that we could utilize? I don't think we do. Construct Cataclysm, there will be no constructs in play. Destructive Response, I could just put into play, but it would not have an immediate effect. Sustained Influence would not be useful, and Vitality Conduit would also get destroyed, but would allow 1 target to regain 2 HP. I think Cosmic's just gonna draw a card, and no one else has retaliation effects, so the order doesn't matter. So the Zealot regains HP, and the Autonomous Blade, if I shuffle it, I can draw a card. So I don't have a means of getting constructs from my trash yet. I forget what it's called, but I'm gonna shuffle it so I can draw a card. Captain Cosmic draws Cosmic Weapon. which is basically Young Legacy's base power, but we can throw it on any hero. Some players tend to throw that on Prime Warden's Captain Cosmic because they view his base power as a little boring. And it can be boring at the start when there's only one construct in play, but if there are 10 in play and they all get destroyed, then the game gets super fun. So yeah, we have to deal with the Cursed Acolyte, we have to deal with the Profane Zealot, and Scholar has not discarded cards, so I think Cosmic Weapon on the Scholar might be the best. I could also put this on the Naturalist, actually, and the Naturalist would be able to utilize both Deadly Crocodile and Cosmic Weapon on his turn, and with the +1, he'd be able to destroy the Profane Zealot, which would allow us to hit the Cursed Acolyte for more damage. So I think that's the better play, actually. So throw that on the Naturalist. Cosmic shall use Absorption, in case we lose the Cosmic Weapon. And we draw Potent Disruption. So does Naturalist want to regain 4 HP? Well, he needs to use more powers, so the answer is no. Alright, so we do have 2 powers now. We have Transform as well as Cosmic Weapon. So as I said, Crafty Assault we can utilize just to deal spread damage. We don't need the Gazelle text at the moment, and we have a duplicate of his cards, so we don't need both. Natural Form's power with the Crocodile would do a little more spread damage without power. Primal Charge would do damage from a one-shot. And the Gazelle we don't want, because we need to be able to hit the Profane Zealot. So if I do Crafty Assault, this will do 2 damage to all the villain targets. And then I'd be able to use Cosmic Weapon to destroy the Profane Zealot, and the Cursed Acolyte will be at 4 HP, which would not be able to be destroyed by Deadly Crocodile. But we need to do 1 point of damage to it, which I guess we could use Channel for. So that works out. And yes, we have to take out Profane Zealot first, so let's hit... Did I say base power? I said base power, I think. Transform. No, I meant Deadly Crocodile. When I mentioned powers I was going to use. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we do have to deal with the zombie servants, I suppose. But we do have lots of means of dealing with them, so that's okay. Naturalist draws another Primal Charge. So now Bunker. Well, with the Flat Cannon, the Grenade Launcher is another accompanying equipment, and actually that would be able to take out the Cursed Acolyte and the Zombie Servant, as well as hit Gloomweaver, so that's a little more effective damage dealing. But if I have the Flat Cannon and the Grenade Launcher, then Turret Mode would allow me to use both on a turn, as well as increase the damages dealt by 1. So we'll put the Grenade Launcher out, and we shall use it since it seems wise. Actually, I guess it's a little annoying, but Legacy can deal with the resultant zombie. Because I can take out the Cursed Acolyte, but then destroying the Cultist puts a Zombie Servant out, but Legacy can do that, thankfully. Bunker draws a Heavy Plating. Alright. Well, I was going to put the Legacy Ring out, but I think we want to start the next evolution lead from the front combo going. So I do intend on using Motivational Charge, so I'm going to put lead from the front out so that we can at least potentially utilize its effect. Take out the Zombie Servant, and we get some hit points back, which is good since we took a lot of damage in the first 2 turns. Legacy draws Surge of Strength. Lots of good Legacy cards, not enough turns to play them all. Alright, well, I'm going to put the Fleshed Iron out so that Scholar's a little more tanky. Scholar draws Bring What You Need. Alright, so now Training Simulator is putting a villain target into play. We don't want the Cursed Acolyte. I don't even want the Profane Zealot, so let's put a zombie out. Entry point. Play this card on a room card. If there are no room cards in play, play the top card of the environment deck. Then reshuffle this card into the environment deck. A card under this card has no game text. Increase damage dealt by villain targets by 1. Again, we lack the means of destroying environment cards, at least for the moment. There is one environment card that can destroy cards, but we don't have it yet. But currently there's a +1 to villain damage. Another Profane Zealot comes out. Thankfully not a vast following that revealed the Cursed Acolyte. Legacy doesn't want to redirect this. But alright, that was a much tamer turn. We'll be able to deal with the Profane Zealot pretty easily. I'm gonna put the Destructive Response out because then I can start doing more retaliations when constructs are destroyed and will absorb again. Captain Cosmic draws a Dynamic Siphon. Excellent. Out of turn power uses is great. Let's keep that in play. So Primal Charge, Naturalist can deal 1 target 3 melee. So we would be able to take out the Profane Zealot and the Zombie Servant, although I guess there's another Zombie Servant coming out. Well, I could put out Natural Form's Vigor, or Power. I probably wouldn't utilize its effect this turn, but then I'd have it. And then I could use the Cosmic Weapon Deadly Crocodile combo to take out the Profane Zealot. We'd have 2 Zombie Servants, and then I guess Legacy and Bunker can do their thing again. So I'll do that, just in the interest of getting more set up. I tend to I like to put a lot of cards out, especially when I know that cards are safe. Like when I played against Omnitron a few weeks ago, I was very scared to play any ongoing or equipment cards because I feared that Omnitron was going to destroy them all. But Gloomweaver is very bad at destroying cards. The only card destruction card that he has is the Drum of Despair. At the start of the villain turn, each player may discard 2 cards or destroy 1 of their cards, or Gloomweaver deals their hero 4 infernal damage. So this is the only card destruction in Gloomweaver's deck, and it's very optional. Like, if you don't want to destroy 1 of your cards, you could either discard 2 cards or be dealt damage, which generally I find better than destroying 1 of my cards, unless it's a card I was going to destroy anyway. But, oh, does Voodoo Pin do it? Ah, no, yeah, I lied. It's not the only card. Sable Pin. At the end of that hero's turn, that hero's player destroys 1 of their cards, or Gloomweaver deals that hero 5 psychic damage. So it's sort of the same as the Drum of Despair, except it's on the end of a hero turn. That hero can't discard cards. They either destroy 1 of the cards or dealt 1 more point of damage. You can always tell what the card destruction cards are based on the little icons on the bottom. But regardless, all card destruction cards in this game are optional, or at least on Gloomweaver's side. I don't think Freedom Tower has card destruction cards outside of destroying an environment card, so we don't have to worry about that as much. But anyway, let's take out the Profane Zealots, and let's take out the Deadly Crocodile. Or use the Deadly Crocodile. I keep using the wrong words. We get the Zombie Servant, and Naturalist draws another Natural Born Vigor. Alright. So I could put out Turret Mode, but I'm going to put out Heavy Plating. More in the interest of getting set up more than anything. But we'll use the Grenade Launcher. We could do this to take out the zombies, and then do 1 point on Gloomweaver. That seems like the best spread of damage. And Bunker draws another Flak Cannon. Alright, so next evolution, Surge of Strength or Legacy Ring. I'm going to put out the Legacy Ring, because now I can do Motivational Charge and Atomic Glare. Thankfully, that entry point is covering the training simulator, so we're not going to get another zombie in play on the environment turn. And Legacy draws Bolster Allies, which Scholar's going to like. So Scholar definitely can't utilize both know when to turn looses, so we're going to lose 1 of those. So we can keep the Fleshed Iron. And since I've discarded 1 card, Channel will now involve 2 infernal damage So I could do this to hit Gloomweaver for 2, but I kind of want to try to find better cards. So bring what you need, reveal the top 3 cards, put 2 in your hand and 1 on the bottom, versus no one to hold fast, draw 5 and end your turn. Basically, I will draw 4 cards, and on my draw phase, draw 1 more card. So draw 4 cards here versus draw 2 cards here, but filter out a bad card. I'll bring what I need. Because again, I like getting more set up when I don't need to worry about card destruction. So we have another no one to hold fast. We have a Truth Seeker, which would deal the same damage currently as Channel, except Scholar can draw a card. And an Alchemical Redirection, which would override Lead from the Front, except I guess if you redirect via Alchemical Redirection first, you could then redirect by Lead from the Front. But this is a temporary card. So what card do I not want of these? How worried am I about getting another Cursed Acolyte or something else? I think I'm going to lose the no one to hold fast because Truth Seeker or Bring What You Need will get me enough cards. So 2 in my hand will leave no one to hold fast in the bottom. Scholar draws. Don't dismiss anything. A super fun card. Caspit's Playground. Room. All hero ongoing cards are also equipment cards. That would be super fun. Crimson Pin. Voodoo Pin. When this card enters play, place it next to the hero character card with the highest HP, which is Naturalist. At the end of that hero's turn, Gloomweaver deals them 3 irreducible toxic damage. It has 9 HP, so it's actually a lot of HP to get through. But no other damage was dealt. Alright. Dynamic Siphon is a fun one. Whenever this card is dealt damage, that hero may use a power. Well, Bunker's gonna like this card a lot. I'm gonna put this on Legacy. And we'll see why. So we'll again just use Absorption. We've used it only once, or it's activated only once. Unflagging Animation. And you can see that they added the word equipment to this card. Ongoing, limited, equipment, and is actually overflowing the card. I didn't even realize that would happen. But Caspit's Playground has made ongoing cards into equipment cards, so that's fun. Unflagging Animation is the one that allows Cosmic to grab a construct from his trash and put into play, as long as he deals himself 1 irreducible psychic at the end of his turn. Do you want to regain 4? No, we're not going to do that. So we need to deal with that Crimson Pin. Or do we? I guess, well, I would like to not take damage. We're doing pretty well. It's not a terrible game at the moment. Started out a little bit terrible with the Cursed Acolyte and the vast following that pulled the Cursed Acolyte pack, but we're doing pretty fine. We want to keep the Crafty Assault. We don't want to Nimble Gazelle. Primal Charge could do a lot of damage, I guess, when coupled with a bunch of other effects, so let's go ahead and try to take out that Crimson Pin if we can. Let me use this first to see what I need to do, because this would hit the Crimson Pin for 2, as well as hit Gloomweaver, and then I guess I might as well use this power. It's the bigger damage dealing hit, but I don't have any other powers to use, or I don't have any more powers I can use, so I might as well use that. We get another Crafty Assault, and now that whatchamacallit, Voodoo Pin is gone. Alrighty. Well, I don't want to put turret mode out, I don't think. Or do I? I could put turret mode out. I feel like I want something else, but what would I want? There's not really much else. I guess like Gatling Gun for automatic damage, or Maintenance Unit for HP recovery, or Omni Cannon. All fun things. But we haven't gotten them yet. I'll just put turret mode out. Bunker's gonna be a bit boring, but grenade launcher and flat cannon with heavy plating and HP recovery via legacy makes him pretty automated at this point. So let's go and hit Gloomweaver. And then we shall hit Gloomweaver. And Bunker's not going to do the second hit, but will do the third hit. And we'll do that on the Dynamic Siphon on Legacy. So now Legacy may use a power, and we shall use Motivational Charge. So this does the same amount of damage that Bunker would have done to Gloomweaver. Except he couldn't, he already hit Gloomweaver this turn. But now we get HP recovery, and that Dynamic Siphon is back up to 3. So now I can put the next evolution out. I'm going to do that. So now I have it if we need it. And now I'm going to use Motivational Charge. So HP recovery. That Dynamic Siphon is now back to full health, but every other hero has regained 2 HP. And we've done 2 more hits to Gloomweaver than otherwise, so that's smart usage of Dynamic Siphon. Because sometimes you don't always just want to hit the bad guys, you need to hit the good guys sometimes for strategic purposes. Legacy draws another superhuman durability. I have to discard a card to keep Flesh to Iron, and I'm going to lose Grace Under Fire. We don't have too many targets in play right now. And don't dismiss... can't speak. Don't dismiss anything. Each player may either move 1 card from their trash to the top of their deck, or put the top card of their deck into play. Putting a card into play is not the same as playing a card, so Bunker would be able to put a card into play. We have no idea what these cards are, but that's what makes Don't Dismiss Anything super fun. So what shall we do? Cosmic could play a card that destroys constructs. Legacy could play a card that makes hero targets immune to damage, which might offset Cosmic a bit. Like if Cosmic would rather use like Destructive Response to trigger Dynamic Siphon on Legacy so she could use a power, which she wouldn't be able to do if we had Heroic Interception. So I think Legacy after Cosmic is a necessary one. Maybe there's a chance that the heroes could play cards that would hit Dynamic Siphon. So would the other order matter? Let's say no. Naturalist. Put the top card into play. I could grab any card from the trash I wanted, but I like playing random cards. Shifter's Strength. 1 shot. Discard any number of cards. Draw as many cards as you discard this way. You may play a card. So we can play a card. Nimble Gazelle is easily discardable because we can retrieve it with Naturalist Space Power, so I'll discard that one. Natural Born Vigor, we have one in play, and other than the fact that Naturalist could regain 4 HP if he does destroy this card is not going to leave play, so I'm going to lose that one. Primal Charge, deal 1 target 3 melee versus deal up to 3 targets 2 melee. I mean, we don't need 2 Crafty Assaults, but it does do good spread damage. So let's stop there and see what we get. Environmental Allies, which is actually a pretty boring card in this setup because Freedom Tower lacks environment targets. So not only will no environment targets have damage reduction, but hero targets would not be immune to damage dealt by environment cards because they are not targets. And Resilient Tide, whenever exactly 1 damage would be dealt to the Naturalist, prevent that damage. Which is a pretty good one. I don't need to do damage right now, we're pretty well going. Let's put the top card of Bunker's deck into play. That card is Decommissioned Hardware, which is unfortunate because there are no equipment cards in Bunker's trash. This card actually benefits from Caspit's Playground, because if Bunker had an ongoing card in his trash, like, say, Turret Mode, he could put it into play because it's an equipment card now. And let's do Scholar. Scholar, top card, get out of the way. So 1 point of damage and 1 HP recovered. So now Cosmic, let's see what you do. Augmented Ally. At the start of that hero's turn, their player may discard a card. If they do, they may use a power immediately. Well, Bunker doesn't need it. Cosmic doesn't have enough powers. Naturalist has a lot of powers. Legacy has a lot of potential powers. Scholar doesn't have enough powers. But, I mean, at least Channel would actually benefit from the discard. So it's a little up in the air. Let's put this on Naturalist. Now, Legacy, top card of deck, Flying Smash. So I could hit the Dynamic Siphon, and then Legacy could use Motivational Charge. Dynamic Siphon would be down to 2, though, which is not what I want it to be at. So let's go ahead and bring what I need. We have another ring what I need, a Solid to Liquid, and a Proverbs and Axioms. We definitely want that Proverbs and Axioms, that's always fun. Bring what you need is limited, and we don't need to destroy this game, so I'll take Solid to Liquid instead. And Scholar draws keep moving! Alrighty. The Wraith's Arsenal. Room. At the start of the environment turn, each player may draw 1 card. If all active players draw a card this way, destroy this card. So that's going to be super good for Scholar. Ophidia, the Deceiver. Familiar. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP X toxic damage, where X equals 5 plus the number of voodoo pins in play. There are 0. It is increased by 1, though. Legacy's not immune to toxic, but Naturalist can take this. Alrighty. So, we don't have any constructs in the trash. Unflagging Animation, as I said, it doesn't combo well with this interpretation of Cosmic's power. Because if you let a construct get destroyed, you're not shuffling it into your deck, and therefore you can't draw or play a card, so you can't react as well. It does work well if we... What's the card? It's not that one. Harsh Offense? Yeah. If Harsh Offense reveals constructs, they get discarded, but then they could be put into play by Unflagging Animation on the next turn. But we don't have that card. We still have yet to have a construct get destroyed. It's probably... If I use Potent Disruption, we could do some fun things, but... Let's put the Vitality Conduit. And let's put that on... I don't generally put constructs on constructs, but that's always a possibility. But... Scholar would like this card the most, because when he regains HP, he can sometimes deal damage. And let's go ahead and use Absorption. Captain Cosmic draws Conservation of Energy. This card combos super well with Absorption. If he plays it after Absorption has been used, remember Absorption expires at the start of Captain Cosmic's turn, so you can't play this on your play phase and profit. But Conservation of Energy, if you play this, destroy any number of constructs. For each construct you destroy, if you shuffle it into your deck, you can draw or play a card. After you're done, doing whatever with constructs, you can then draw X or play X, where X is the number of constructs destroyed plus 1. So if you have a lot of cards, you could play twice the number of constructs plus 1, play twice the number of constructs plus 1, If you're severely hurting your cards, you could draw twice as many +1, or you could mix it up with absorption, but yeah. Alright. No! Alright, if I discard a card, I can use a power. We have the Cosmic Weapon, which deals damage, the Deadly Crocodile, which deals damage, and Natural Form's Power, which deals damage. So we could potentially take out Ophidia pretty well. We don't need environmental allies, so we're going to discard that. So I'm going to go ahead and... let's do this for the spread effect first. Now my play phase, Primal Charge, deals 3 melee, becomes 4. So remembering that we have the Grenade Launcher, which is automatic, so I don't need to really... I could put Ophidia down to 3, which I can do with Deadly Crocodile. So I'll do Deadly Charge on Gloomweaver. And then we shall use Cosmic Weapon on Gloomweaver. And then Deadly Crocodile on Ophidia. And that lets Bunker take out Ophidia. Naturalist draws Bestial Shift, or Bestial Shift, or something. Let's not destroy turret mode. I don't have any other thing to do, really. So, Flat Cannon on Gloomweaver. And then we can do the same trick with Grenade Launcher as before, except now I can do 1 hit on Ophidia. Take out Ophidia. 1 hit on Gloomweaver, and then the other hit on the Dynamic Siphon, which will let Legacy use Motivational Charge, which will let everyone regain HP. Which will put the Dynamic Siphon up to 3. Bunker doesn't draw a card. Now's a good time for Surge of Strength, though. And we shall Motivational Charge again, so we get more hit points, and Dynamic Siphon gets put at max HP. And might as well use Atomic Glare. We don't need Next Evolution still, unless we expect to be dealt certain damage, which we're not yet. We don't know what could be dealt. Another lead from the front. So discard a card to keep Flesh to Iron, so... at this point, I don't really need Alchemical Redirection, also I'll lose that. It also doesn't combo well with the Dynamic Siphon thing that we would like to have going. Now's a good time to keep moving, though. We can get Mortal Form out, which will be super nice. And we can do Proverbs and Axioms again. If we expect to be able to utilize this that well, though. But the only heroes that would benefit... I mean, like, a lot of heroes would deal themselves 4 Psychic because of the pluses. Like, Naturalist and Bunker would deal themselves 4. And then they would do 4 damage to Gloomweaver, which would put her down to 24. Oh yeah, and Legacy also has a +1 now, so she'd also deal herself 4. Could do Gloomweaver 4, put her down to 20. Naturalist could regain 2 and deal 2, and could then deal some amount via channel, put Gloomweaver down to 16. So we're within victory, but it's not a super exciting Proverbs and Axioms. So instead I'll just hold off a round. I'll put out Truth Seeker, and we'll use it to deal damage as well as profit a card. We get a Keep Moving, Scholar draws, and Know When to Hold Fast. Alright, so Wraith's Arsenal. So as long as one hero does not draw a card, this stays in play. Scholar wants to draw cards, so Scholar draws and don't dismiss anything. Exciting. Bunker can't draw cards, so he's the one who's not going to draw a card. Cosmic draws a Potent Disruption. I could even hit Choose for me, but I'm not going to do that. Cornered Beast for Naturalist, and Bolster Allies for Legacy. I guess if I hit it Choose for me, it would be fine. Mission Control. Room. At the end of the environment turn, reveal the top card of each hero deck in turn order. If the revealed card is a one-shot or limited card already in play, discard that card. Otherwise, put the revealed card into play. So here's going to be some fun randomness. Top of Captain Cosmic's deck is a construct, Energy Bracer. So we could stick this next to a hero character card, reduce damage dealt to them by 1. Scholar wants to take damage, I think. We can put this on Legacy, and then lead from the front would be super nice. That's a one-shot. Bunker gets his Omni Cannon for free. Amber Alert. Ashtabula, Ohio. That's what that sound means. And I guess the other heroes didn't get anything. I missed it, but I guess they were one-shots. Alright, we have our first relic, Drum of Despair. Relic. At the start of the villain turn, each player may discard 2 cards or destroy one of their cards. If they do neither, Gloomweaver deals their hero 4 infernal damage. So remember that relics are indestructible. They are still targets. We can damage them all we want to, but even if they go below 0, they are not going to get destroyed. Which is fine, because we can actually potentially do some fun things this turn. Okay, so what fun things can we do this turn? Well, if we expect the game to end, I should probably have some fun with Captain Cosmic, although we haven't used Absorption, though, so I can't really double its effect. Dang. Yeah, we have not used Absorption, so this would just deal damage, which I guess is fine, but I want to try to maximize it if I can. If I destroy all constructs, I could do 5 damage, but that's a little boring. Potent Disruption would also deal 5 damage. Construct Cataclysm, you can either do a bunch of irreducible damage, which I don't need to do, or a bunch of spread damage, which I also don't need to do. I don't know. I think I'm going to put Sustained Influence out, and I think I'm going to try to take out a construct just so Cosmic could use Absorption. So we'll put a Sustained Influence out, and we'll use Absorption. And Cosmic draws a Harsh Offense. So let's not do this. Discard a card. If you do, you may play a card. Cornered Beast is nice if there are more non-hero targets than hero targets, which is super nice in a Vengeance game. This game is not the case. I'm going to lose Cornered Beast. And I want to take out some construct. So let's take out... Let's see, when do I want to do this? I don't want to do it right away, do I? I want to utilize Vitality Conduit first, so I guess I'm not going to do that. Never mind. We do have Mortal Form, though, so I can... Here's what we can do. Not sure it's the best and most exciting use of this, but I can ping the Vitality Conduit. So Scholar regains 2 HP and deals 2 energy. So that was the same amount of damage, so I guess it wasn't super exciting. But I can ping the Dynamic Siphon. So Legacy can use Motivational Charge on Gloomweaver, which would do 1 more point of damage. And when Scholar regains the HP, he can deal 1 point of damage. So it's 2 more points of damage. That was a smart one. And the rest of this doesn't matter. The only hero who really cares about when he regains HP is Scholar. Sometimes if he deals damage and there's a retaliation effect and the retaliation is to the hero at the highest HP, you might want that to be a certain hero, but otherwise. Alright, Bestial Shift, deal damage, you may use a power, or deal up to 3 targets 2 melee. This would do more damage. So we shall hit Gloomweaver. We don't have enough powers though, unfortunately. But that's okay. We'll hit Gloomweaver. This game's won. We're just kind of goofing around at this point. Deadly Crocodile. Because why not? I could change forms, but I don't want to. We get Indomitable Force. Let's not destroy turret mode. Let's move up to 3 cards. We'll move any 3 cards. So now Omni Cannon is going to do 7 damage. Oop, I guess there's an order that could be done, but I'm not caring about it. 7 damage, and now Grenade Launcher. So now I could destroy Vitality Conduit, and then we can have some fun things. So here we go. Vitality Conduit is destroyed. Destructive Response first. So we'll hit Gloomweaver, and we'll hit the Dynamic Siphon, so that Legacy can use Motivational Charge, so that Legacy could hit Gloomweaver, so that Scholar can regain 1 HP, so that Scholar could hit Gloomweaver. Interestingly, Vitality Conduit's going to regain an HP, although, oh, I guess it technically doesn't because it was in the middle of destruction. Interesting. That was interesting. Okay. So, have fun digesting what just happened. If I hit this, would Scholar regain HP, or is it in the act of being destroyed? It is in the act of being destroyed, so its text is no longer in play. But now Absorption triggers, so we shall shuffle Vitality Conduit into my deck. Cosmic shall play Conservation of Energy. He's going to destroy all of these constructs. And we shall absorb them. Shuffle into my deck. Do we have cards we want in play? Let's say no. Let's draw a card. We draw Energy Bracer. Okay. Let's destroy Augmented Ally. Let's shuffle it into my deck. And let's play Energy Bracer on Legacy. Not sure where I'm going with this yet, but let's destroy the Energy Bracer. Shuffle it into my deck. Let's draw a card. Energy Bracer. Let's destroy Cosmic Weapon. Let's shuffle it into my deck. I'm gonna draw cards, actually, so I can get a super fun thing. Let's destroy Dynamic Siphon. Let's destroy Sustained Influence to put it in play. Keep it on Legacy. And I could destroy it again. I'm gonna keep it in play. And now let's play 6 cards. So we can put the Energy Bracer on Legacy. This is like when people are staring at you at the table and they're like, come on, Gloomweaver's at 1 HP, you have a card that's gonna deal damage, why are you not playing it? But at least I'm demonstrating to my loyal viewers the fun things you can do with Prime Wardens Captain Cosmic, since some people tend to view him as rather boring. Let's go ahead and put Unflagging Animation out, but at this point, let's play Potent Disruption. Destroy the Energy Bracer. Shuffle into my deck. I don't really have anything else to do, though. So I'm just going to draw a card, and we'll end the game. And that's what you call dicking around. Alright, that was a mint. Rather shaky start, but thanks to the multiple uses of Motivational Charge, thanks in part to Dynamic Siphon, we were able to keep our heroes pretty healthy. Although the end of the second round, or the end of Gloomweaver's second turn, was a little scarier. Anyway. Fun game. And it was a rather boring challenge mode because we didn't see any villain relics until Gloomweaver's last turn, and Gloomweaver was already dead anyway. So, rather boring. But challenge mode in general can be rather tough. If you've not played challenge mode yet, you should try it on certain villains. Certain ones turn from either easy to difficult, or difficult to almost impossible, or difficult to still difficult because the effect isn't that big of a deal, really. Or easy to still sort of easy-ish, but slightly harder. The ones that are devilishly difficult, and that you should try out if you want to have some fun, for gross exaggerations of fun, challenge misinformation. I'll go ahead and pull this up. not to hold you guys for much longer, but challenge mode misinformation. Challenge text. Whenever a clue card enters play, the top card of the villain deck is played. At first glance, when I saw this, I was like, oh, this makes misinformation easier, because you'll be able to flip her faster, and therefore end the game faster. Then I played her in challenge mode, and oh my god, when she plays 6 consecutive clues, you get kind of mad. Because you have to deal with all of their effects. Alright. One that's also difficult, I believe... What was the one I thought was super difficult? Oh, you know what it was? It's Omnitron. Not normal Omnitron. Omnitron's is actually slightly boring. For every 7 damage Omnitron is dealt in a round, the heroes may choose 1 villain component to be destroyed. Ignore the second line of text on villain component cards. So this one makes it so whenever there are multiple components, you can't destroy all of them in one fell swoop, but you can still destroy one of them. And sometimes it doesn't even matter, there's probably only one in play anyway. It's Cosmic Omnitron that becomes devilish. Challenge, Cosmic Overdrive. The value of H is doubled in this game. And they put an H there, but I believe that's because if you start a game, it will say the value of 4 is doubled to 8. So already on his main card, cards are revealed from the villain tech until 8 minus 2 components are revealed and put into play. I believe that puts basically every component in play. I think there's only 6 of them. Yeah, so all components are in play at the start. If his first card play is Sedative Flechettes, Omnitron deals each hero target 8+1 projectile damage, destroy all hero ongoing cards. Or the S-84 Automaton Drone. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP X energy damage, where X equals the current HP of this card. The maximum HP of this card is 9. 9 energy damage. Nice. Oh, and the components also do this. Electromagnetic Railgun. At the start of the villain turn, Omnitron deals the 2 hero targets with the highest HP 8-1 projectile damage each. 7 damage to 2 targets. Disintegration Ray. At the start of the villain turn, Omnitron deals 8+1 energy damage to the hero target with the highest HP. Lots of damage. I believe that's basically the ones. Oh, I guess no. No, that doesn't. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, so Cosmic Omnitron becomes devilishly difficult. One that's actually... I've not used it yet, or I've not played against it yet, but Spite's Challenge. Strung Out Maniac. Spite can regain HP past his maximum HP. So normally in a game against Spite, if he destroys a bunch of victims, he'll be at max HP anyway. When he deals damage, he regains that much HP. You know, if he's capped at HP, it doesn't really matter. But with challenge mode, you can get to like super high HP levels. So you have to actually deal with that over the course of the game. One last one, I guess, just so I don't keep going on forever. Although I'm not too sure about these. The one, okay, I guess we've done a lot of ones that are super devilishly difficult. The one that's not super exciting. Citizen Dawn. Challenge. Solar Retribution. Whenever a Citizen card is destroyed, Citizen Dawn deals the hero target with the highest HP 3 fire damage. So, smart, quote-unquote, gameplay against Citizen Dawn doesn't really involve destroying citizens unless you need to, since she flips if there are 5 or more citizens in the villain trash. So, you tend to pick and choose which citizens you want to destroy based on need. You only want to flip her if you know you can flip her back like immediately. So if you don't want to flip her and you keep citizens in play, then challenge mode doesn't do anything. And then there are other challenge modes that just do extra things at the start of the game, I think. I don't remember which ones though. There's also team villain ones. Actually, I guess the one I was thinking of was Airmines. Her challenge mode. At the start of the game, Subtle Diversion and Uncatchable are put into play. So those 2 cards are in play at the start of the game, but, you know, there's no ongoing effect, so other than what's on their cards. But you can destroy them. Alrighty. So that's a wrap. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next week for next week's weekly one-shot. Have a good night.